So, as I already explained, the Pony Express, which is a four-person design collective with graphic designers, three-dimensional designers, and urban planner, which is Jessica, who's here, and the other two are still in Amsterdam. And I'm going to both show work that we've done in the past to explain the way that we approach what we do. And in the end, I will show you what we did in Tokyo. What we do is we go to spaces that are in some kind of transition, economical, political, or social, and we live on the site for a longer period of time and try to expose hidden networks. And we do that by making installations in public space. We started our first research in Detroit in 2010, and we went there because Detroit is the mother of all shrinking cities. It's, this is a picture of the center, and this is the center of the center, and the green around it used to be the center too, but as you can see, it's green now, and it used to be filled up with houses. And it shrank incredibly because the car industry left the city. So there was a huge disaster. The population dropped from about 2 million below a million. So that's kind of cutting the city in half. Whenever we go to a location, we first try to get to know the land by walking the land. This is an old saying from the Maori Ori, and it really relates to every time we enter a certain site. So what we did in Detroit is we were living in the lower east side, which is pretty run down. This was right around the corner from our house. And we both went running to see the land, but also to make ourselves visible. Because the downtown area is mostly populated by poor black people, so for women running, it's quite a striking sight. This is also right around the corner, so you can see a little bit how devastating the effect of the economic decline has been. Here's a nice field which was maintained by cutting the grass. The government actually stopped paying for like maintaining public space, so people took over and did it themselves. It was like taking care of the grass, the wild places, was giving them a sense of control over their situation. Word it up. We also, by running, we ran into phenomena that we read about. There's like packs of wild dogs roaming the streets of Detroit. There are people running. And this is also an interesting phenomena because, as you can see here, it's pretty wild. People are still keeping up appearances by making the sidewalks, but they just make the corners, and then it kind of stopped. And every time we made a run, we drew it in Google Maps. You can see that our condition was getting better and better. The little green line in the center was when we just got there and we were still jet lagged, and then they get longer and longer. And the blue one was when we got lost. Chased by dogs. And we kept notes of whatever people were saying to us. So sometimes they said, "Oh, good to see you girls running here," or "What are you running from?" or "I almost shot on you." So there's kind of a way to file data into our running tracks. Yep. A few days ago we were also speaking about myths, and this is about the myth of urban farming. Detroit is really famous for urban farming. Like whenever you read about it, they speak about people growing their own tomatoes and working in the garden together on all these empty lots. And it really gets a lot of attention. This was a community garden which got visited intensely. And I don't really know what was left of the garden after all these people went away again, because it was pretty bombastic. Here you see they're all taping and filming the fruits and the apples. So we thought, okay, it would be nice to have an overview of this much talked about phenomena. So we went to the city planning department, which is here, and we had to like call a number from one of the pieces of paper on the wall, and then we called it with their telephone, and we heard it ring on the other side of the wall. And then after about 15 minutes, there was a person coming, and we said that we were interested in a map of like all the gardens, all the initiatives, and they said, oh, well, we actually have no idea about that, but if you were going to make a map like that, we would like to have the results. So then we said, okay, let's go and map them. And as you can see, it's really, so this is an orchard with about 2 or 3 trees in it. This was Bird Town Community Garden. What was interesting is that there were all kinds of gardens for all kinds of people, like for ex-cons or divorced women, black people, black religious people. Like every group was represented by a garden, it seemed. And some of them were really professional, and others were even more professional. But there were also really special gardens, like really mini. So then, like we tried to get a scope of what's the variety, how big is it actually, and who's doing it. Some of them were really beautiful, but very condensed. And this is, yeah, this is one which is also beautiful. I think it's made by the lady who lives in that house. And what this really shows is that urban farming is also connecting people, because you can grow one tomato plant and then you're part of a movement. So in that way, it's really a myth in the mind. Like, it's very big in everyone's mind, but if you actually map it, then the size is very different. So there are different levels to urban farming. This project is also about food cornucopia. We followed a religious initiative. They had a truck called Peaches and Greens, and they delivered fresh fruit and vegetables to the city center, where a lot of people lived that were on food coupons, but they could only change them in like cheap liquor stores that were within walking reach, because also a lot of people don't have a car, and to get to a normal store you need to drive for 45 minutes to go to a supermarket. So they came up with this to bring food to the poorer neighborhoods. We drove with their truck on a very hot day, and then they just have their routes, they stop everywhere. What's also nice is that food was like an exotic thing for kids. They do have an ice cream truck that runs down the streets about 5 times a day, but fruit is like a special treat. Here you can see the bus driver, and he actually grew up in this neighborhood, so he also knows, oh, there lives an old person who would like to buy 3 oranges, and then he just goes there and delivers it. So it's a really small scale interaction. Then, of course, we were mapping, and we rode with the truck for a day, and we mapped every piece of fruit that was sold. We also mapped where that was sold, I think. So this is a representation of that network that was created by the people from Peaches and Greens. But somehow we thought this was a little, a little bit, a very thin representation of what they actually mean, their impact. So we decided to go really early to the auction, the fruit auction, and we bought every single item on the list that we had made. And then we asked a local photographer to help us shoot, and we made a giant still life in the fountain. And then we showed this picture as a map of like what is the impact of of the Peaches and Greens. So it's like a map which is not like a line or a dot on a Google map, but it's more I don't know, you can see what it is. This is the work I'm showing now is about the Netherlands. The year after we went to Detroit, we spent time in Vlieheide, which is a neighborhood in the south of the Netherlands, and that used to be a mining city, which also suffered population decline because the industry left. So it's kind of a counter study from Detroit. That neighborhood was built with the capital that was earned in the mines. So these houses were modernist and with a lot of light and public green space, and it was built for like good middle class people. This is how they looked in the late 60s or early in the 60s. And this is what they look like now. So you can really see that ideas about public space and modernistic styles have changed over the years. People really made their own fantasies come true in their backyard. Okay, so the last project was just to show you the site where we were. Final Fantasy is a project about the potential of public space. You can see here the green is like a little park, and there used to be a flat exactly like that one. Standing, they took it down, and the neighborhood made it into a park. Here you can see the park from above. And they were very much raving about it, but we never saw anyone there. The only thing that we saw when we were there were dog shits, and it was really smelly, and really full there. You can see like little dots. There was another project, we marked all those dog shits. But we were really interested in how this park was used, because it was clearly used heavily, but when? So we installed a camera on top of the roof of the flat. This is Erik Jutte, our he's on the board of directors, and he always comes in when we need to put a camera on the roof. This is the black box, waterproof, so we could store it there for about 2 weeks. And we had to wire it up and took loads of pictures. We took thousands and thousands of pictures every 5 minutes. We shot one automatically. And this is a selection, but we were really surprised that it's still almost every picture was empty. So the interval of 5 minutes timing had to be kicked up. And then we finally, you can see a person sitting on a bench. You can see a man on the sidewalk. Rain. they're watering the plants. But we also brought people over all those slides, and then we made this as a kind of showing the potential of that park. There are all these people, there are all these dogs, and the government is actually working on a plan to revive this neighborhood, and Jessica is going to work on that next year. So we've been giving lots of extra talks also to the municipality to see how they can try to achieve that it's going to be a little bit more lively. This is the flip side. When we were on location, we were often in public space with our computers. And we noticed that in this neighborhood, the people gave really comic names to their Wi-Fi networks. So we mapped every single network in the neighborhood that we lived in, which is that run-down, modernistic one, and we drove to the rich neighborhood where all the villas were standing. And then you can really see a difference of style. So the thing above is from the poor neighborhood, and they say like Black Panther, Guest, Sharpie, Shadow Force, the gangster. Then when you go to the more, how do you call that? Look at pH neutral, Quiet Fish, Villa Francisca, Angel. It's a very different kind of atmosphere. So this was a perfect project for us, because that's what we do. We map networks, and we couldn't resist. From zwart naar groen, it means from black to green. This is the name of a political operation by Joop den Uyl, who was in charge when all the mines were deserted, and in this part of Holland they decided to really wipe out all the buildings, all the things that showed their industrial past, and replace it with parks. So that was quite cool. They did it very fast, and it was quite cool. So people really didn't have a past anymore when that happened. Here you can see, this is a model from the mine museum, showing a little salamander and the vegetation that used to be growing on top of the coal. And this is the neighborhood when we were from above, when we were taking photos on the flat that I showed earlier, and it's indeed really, really green, especially also on the roofs of the buildings. And one municipality worker told us, oh, if you go to that neighborhood, it's so bad there, there's even trees on top of the houses. But we actually really got attached to those trees on top of the houses, and we started mapping them, looking at them, and we decided to put light on it, to put it into a different perspective. So testing how much light there should be. And what's also important is that we always have to cooperate with the persons that live there. So we have to go into their houses, ask for electricity. We have to do that in Tokyo. And then you really, that's also a way of doing research and finding things out about them. So every project we do is also a kind of a cover up to get to know them. Very busy with the lamps. Detail, lamp on a brick. And this is the installation. So that was really beautiful, and what was nice is that people from the neighborhood also all came down to look at it. yeah, they were like gathering around it and enjoying the view of their own house. And this is in a way also like showing how time also can make a transition. You don't have to do it like a maniac, like Dan L did in the 60s and wiping it all out. Things can happen gradually over time, like those houses with the trees that slowly grow over the years. That's it. Now, the first thing we noticed when we were walking around in Tokyo is that it's really, really quiet in the street. I was expecting like walking down the street would be like visiting a pachinko hall, but it's actually very, very still. And then we went to the end of the world. I need to we were really expecting this in the city, and when we were in the city, we were expecting in the forest. And that kind of put our minds in the direction of the whole project we did. The project Big Shoe, because we noticed there's something really awkward with the scale of things, the proportions of things and how they relate to each other. And I watched a film, High and Low, just before I flew over to Tokyo. And it's a film about a shoe factory, so I think it was already in the air that we were going to do something with shoes. This is like a thriller about Tokyo. Old film, you should all see it. High and Low. It's about shoes. And not only in the 60s, but still here we really ran into some giant shoes. And it's in the metro, girls with their mom's shoes on. That's what it looks like. This is the door in our apartment, which is also really tiny if you compare it with a person. So we kept looking and collecting scale issues, pictures on the metro. Small streets where it's like you're wearing a coat or a glove that doesn't fit exactly. This girl was, she said that she bought these shoes because she really couldn't find another size. So we've been asking people like, why do you wear your shoes like that? Here you see another proportion, like the cars seem to be growing out of their garages. Businessman. Even bigger, and a very tiny person. I wonder if he can even look out the window when he drives around. And we also, people also said, oh, no, my shoe isn't big. And then he asked, where does your toe end? And then it's like halfway in their shoe. You see little men with even littler trees, so there is definitely something going on. This is also nice with the gap in the heel. And then we thought, it's like it's a city in transition, and it seems that there are different sizes that are on their way to fit into each other. So it's like gliding from one end to the other. And maybe it's like someone said, a child in puberty, like some things are too big, other things are too small, and over time it's going to be okay, but it's going to take a while. And that's what we found really a very interesting metaphor for the Still City workshop. And we started, we taped all those shoe films on the metro, and then we projected them. So we have like a little clip collection of film we made that we projected yesterday and the day before on different locations. And yeah, it's about suspicious shoes lurking around the world. This is a shoe shop. It's a coincidence. We also filmed shoes that are still walking the way that they wear slippers of old tradition. Sometimes it's girls.
Oh, that's cool.
So, like, it's still really uncut and raw, but we try to, like, also pull things out of perspective. And also, what struck me as interesting is that the people don't really go into it. They just, like, they're set in their ways, they don't really come to you. That would have been really different in Detroit or the or wherever. So I think that's also interesting that yeah, things just move on here, and it's like a perpetual mobile. Yeah. That's it.
Yeah, I know. Are there questions for our ponies?
How did you feel when you were projecting this onto someone's property? And these people who own this property, how did they respond?
Yeah, well, not really. They just went about their business. And when we were filming, this was the last film we shot. So first we did it like really carefully on blind spots that isn't like we didn't want to shine into anyone's house or face. But it was it's always yeah, you have to feel out what you're doing when you're working in public space like that. You have to be careful not to insult anyone or be rude. So that, but it seemed we were also filming opposite of here, and there was a group of kids that were waiting for a bus, and they kind of like started taking photos, and but that was the only real how do you call it? Interaction.
Because people were very polite, or like we were coming in with this big cable lying there and asking if we could pull electricity from their store or the restaurant, and most of them couldn't understand what we wanted, but they said yes. So that was very nice. I thought, or perhaps it was just being very polite. But there was and we discovered that you can also just plug into these things in public space without asking. There's like these outside things so you can just get electricity from there.
Just outlets.
Sockets.
Yeah.
So very nice. So then we started looking for sockets.
Hey, and I see that you're wearing big shoes.
Yeah.
Yeah, comfortable.
So did you like do the whole research
thing.
on big shoes?
No. we came up with that idea too late.
But is it comfortable?
Yeah.
No, it's really.
Do you understand them better? Closer to them now?
Maybe. And then I just put them on 5 minutes. But I feel taller. That's really nice.
Because we went through this communal housing, and often when you visit a place, you have to
Take them off.
take off your shoes, so it's also convenient to actually
To
have bigger
have
shoes.
bigger
You know?
Yeah, I was just going to ask about that. Like, people
Yeah.
have to
It's
take
like
their shoes off all the time.
Yeah.
If you go to a restaurant or if you go into like small offices or people's homes, they always take them off. So I was also wondering about that. Like,
Yeah,
if you
they didn't.
investigated
We asked them in Japanese, and they never said, "Oh, it's because I want to jump in and out of my shoe."
No, but it is interesting that, of course, in all these spaces, you naturally feel more comfortable because you have to take your shoes off. You have a completely different way of being, of sitting down, and so yeah, that's intriguing. It sort of intrigues me if there's any connection between that. Maybe it doesn't matter if your shoes are just slightly too big or small because as soon as you want to feel comfortable, you take them off anyways.
Yeah, and there's a lot of girls who want to be super cute, and they wear their shoes big, so they look even like skinnier legs and cuter.
But what was the thing? There was one in this reality, this like parallel reality. We would ask like, so you were wearing brown shoes. We noticed that most people wear black shoes. So is this a special statement? No, but most people wear brown shoes. We were like, but huh? And so we were like, but we noticed that they most wear black shoes. No, they wear brown. Or this is not a big shoe. And you were just looking at it and it was like huge. So it's like you construct your own reality in a sense, I guess.
did you ask people who are actually selling the shoes? Because it's actually a bad advice you give people. Right? So here, salesmen are trained to give you good advice, like oh, do they fit, for example, right? Just wander around. But here, you go into a shop and buy shoes that are way too big. That's kind of contradictory to the business. So have you asked the salesman like how does it work?
No, we don't need like, most stores have like 3 sizes. So like if you really want a shoe, you're gonna buy it a little bit bigger or a little bit smaller, but also like one guy said it is fashion. You should always buy 1 or 2 sizes bigger. That's the uniform. If I'm a businessman, I wear big little shoes. So perhaps you will get a different advice and you want a bigger shoe anyway.
Maybe it's a longing to grow bigger.
Yeah, it's their personal space.
They're still growing. They're still growing.
So,
Is it a recent trend? Is it fashion?
no, it's been, we asked them, like, oh, if it's fashion, how long has it been in fashion? And they said like about 5 years, which is for fashion a big amount of time.
And it's still big. It's not slowing down.
We need to look up the statistics on that.
Yeah, there's no big shoe stagnation yet.
Stillness.
Traditional shoes you guys
Yeah, the foot sticks over, right?
Yeah, right, at the end. The shoes maybe also, but usually at the end, so it's totally different feeling of wearing shoes.
Yeah, it's the inverted.
Okay, yeah?
Okay, let's do so we're going to set up the presentation quick. Then
Get drinks?
Yeah, okay. Everybody can.
2 minutes. Yeah, like 5 minutes. Just buy a drink and sit down.
Kan man göra så här?